Hello and welcome to Kump. We're looking at videos made with the new Sora AI app. It's from ChatGPT's crew, and they're shoving people into all sorts of situations. We got people in parachutes. You can be put into a baseball game. You can be put into what is this, Ronald McDonald in the Matrix with hamburgers. Fascinating. This is going to replace Hollywood. They're saying no more ILM, no more Star Wars, no more Disney. It's all going to be at your fingertips, and you know what they're going to use this for. Do you know what I mean, you could call it fear, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. You know what they're going to use this for? You ever wondered if you could be picked up and put in a van? I wonder if I could be picked up and put into a van by a bunch of men. And I go, well, but that then my people would find out, right? My online people or my people I live with, they'd be, where's Kump? Hey, what's the business? You know, we don't live in Stalin's Russia. Well, now here's the plan. AI Kump. AI Kump is created with the Sora app. And it's not exclusive to me, but AI Kump gets made, and he starts ranting, and I bet you they'll have it. You know, they might take him another year before it's ready to, really get the nuance of my gristle, of my pluck. But they're gonna have me ranting about how great it is that we're invading Canada, that we're invading, Belgium. And how I'm actually being paid by the Belgians, and I shouldn't be all sorts of. They're going to discredit me. They're going to use this Sora app. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know Sam Altman. Maybe he's a great guy. Maybe he's not in cahoots with other people who, I'm not in a situation where I can get billions of dollars to build these things. That's the interesting thing. It's like it's the simplest thing in the world. Just happened. I've had tons of ideas. I've had all sorts of ideas throughout my entire adult life about how to invent things. I thought we could invent a new kind of microwave that you could also, keep things cool. A reverse microwave. No one gave me money to research that. I had an idea for a newspaper that was also pornography. I had an idea for, a new type of can that would open itself. And then you would just cook your meal, and you know what? When I get faced down by security guards telling me I don't have a right to be in their building, but this man gets billions of dollars. I'm saying, where's this come from? I'm saying there's probably interests involved that are beyond just inventing. Right? It's not just inventing, is it? It's not Doc Brown in Back to the Future. It's not a guy in his garage tinkering with a flux capacitor and a DeLorean.
No.
It's real business.
This is for destruction.
Well, it's for control. Yeah.
This is for humiliation.
Control via destruction and humiliation. You're right, humiliation. They're going to use this to humiliate me. They're going to use this to exonerate themselves. And I don't mean Sam Altman. I don't know if Sam Altman. I don't think I think he's like Oz. He's like the big head, but behind him is Oz. That's the thing. That's what's confusing about the Wizard of Oz is that they're the same guy as both. Right? The big head is the guy, but it should have been separate guys. They should have been like you shouldn't even. It should have been, I guess they were. That's the point. You know what I mean? It's like Sam Altman's a real person. I don't want to strip him of humanity. But whoever's pulling the money strings, whoever's greasing the tech wheel. Look, if Steve Jobs was alive, I'd be blaming him. That smug bastard. They're gonna unalive me and put me and make cartoons out of me for centuries.
If you see, we should probably prepare for this.
How do we?
What's something you could be doing in an AI video?
This is a great idea.
That you would never do.
This is a great no.
Like, what's the sign?
I don't know, push-ups. No, but this is a great idea. I should bury a codex. I should bury a cipher like they have in submarines. You remember when we watched that movie Crimson Tide?
Right.
With Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. They're great actors. And they were on a submarine and It's a lot. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but when you're on a nuclear sub and they send the orders to nuke Russia or whatever, Sweden, you get the orders coming on the little typewriter machine. Maybe it's a little different nowadays, and then you have to verify it. You you open the safe. You both have keys, and you both get your special little packets, and you crack them open, and you verify with the cipher or whatever that the orders are correct, and then you can nuke Sweden. Bye-bye, Sweden. No more of those little cakes you get at the coffee shop, little pastries. You're done. You're done with the pastries. In the same way, I bury some kind of we'll figure out how I do this, but I have to like kind of maybe. Is it a Dropbox? Is there some kind of hard drive? Can I invent a hard drive that'll release files over time? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How does this work? Do I hire a lawyer like that Kobayashi guy in Usual Suspects? And he goes around and he's also a threat. He also threatens people. Because why would you have two guys? Why would you have a guy who like brings the packet of stuff and Mr. Kaiser Sosa, I work for him, and here's what your mission is, and also threatens your wife. Why would you have a separate guy? Just have them together.
Well, the thing is that even after going through all this trouble, when if you task your most trusted people with putting the cipher together that proves that AI Kump is fake,
right?
There's still going to be a bunch of people who have seen it. Who have seen whatever you're doing in that video.
But it'll be different. It'll be on this day. I'll have to basically make a cipher for the next 400 episodes.
Right. Okay.
And then there'll be some way. I'll need some way to get this out there. It's in a safe. Yeah, you will. I just need one person. You need one person you can trust. If you're lonely, you're screwed. You better make one friend in this new future, this dystopian future we have, right? Because it's no good. You need to have someone who can keep a safe with the site with the codex. And if they start having me go, here's Hillary Clinton, we're going to discuss her email server and her recipe for brownies. And I think she's great. And she never been to an island. She's never been there. And you go, wait, hold on, is this right? And you just look at no, it's actually him. He's actually sold out. And good for him. I'm glad he can have a house now, but then you'll know at least, because we're not gonna know. There is no reality anymore going forward. It's not quite there yet. Like you can still tell there's a certain kind of just uncanny valley aspect to it.
Yeah, at a certain point, all the bodies, like people, when there's too many bodies in an AI video, they get mushy.
But I gotta be honest, when I go to the post office, I don't feel that different than I do watching one of these videos. The whole world's got an uncanny valley going on. The whole world's a little. Just everyone's on edge. Everyone wants a race war. Everyone wants a bigger TV.
Right.
That should be a new. We should update one of those songs. Like, we didn't start the fire. Everybody TV, new race war. Yeah, Sora app. I got a codex. We didn't start. But yeah, it's a bleak situation, and people go, "Why come? Why do you bring up all these bleak things? Why do you always look at as a sour side of the apple? Why can't you be crypto cash? Fucking suck my ass." Well, I'm sorry that I've been indoctrinated by cynicism. What are you showing me? Oh, you're showing me this.
Well, I wanted to pull up because this is a really disturbing example of what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, yeah. This came out a couple of days ago. I didn't. These news. See, when you get your news from social media, first of all, I never heard of a worse idea. But it is kind of how you absorb it nowadays. Like, even though I resisted, but because there's no here's the bullet news. It's it's all just immersed into a bunch of shit posting. I mean, I don't follow journalists, I guess. Maybe that's part of the problem. But so I saw this video. Bring it back. Where were you?
So basically, it's this trend where it starts with a person, usually kind of a fat person.
Right. It's always a fat person, I guess.
Breaking a bridge.
Right.
With rock.
This is I mentioned this recently, but this is kind of when they put the the 9/11 stuff into movies. You know, a few years earlier. They go, what a coincidence. Like, how could they, because they knew. And they go, why would they do it? Because they want you to know. Because it's boring to them. Because these are timeless creatures we're dealing with who go back and forth through time. It's not that fun anymore for them. So they want to just, they want to bury things to goad you, to trick you. They say when you're butchering an animal that you don't want to scare it, shock it, because it could spoil the meat. Because the stress hormones will like leak into the meat, and it's bad for it. But whatever happens with us and our meat it's better for them. The fear makes the meat taste better. I don't like. That's what this is. It's all big.
Well, this is like kind of a sanitized version of it, but like the original versions of these, like the person throws the rock and then all the people like kind of fall through the glass or the bridge. It's almost like Squid Game themed or something. It's really strange.
It's all really
violence porn.
It's all it's violence porn, but that's the thing. They're rewriting how you interact with the digital world. They're gonna have a digital ID in a few years, and you're gonna need that to get your insulin and your whatever else you like, your Ritalin, your Blobuterol. Is that a thing? You want some Blobuterol? Get a digital ID. You're dead. All right. We're in this shutdown now. This digital shutdown of the government. What is what is the reason? Oh, these guys. Either you can listen to two sides here, right? You can either believe that we're trying to give healthcare to foreign terrorists who live in Afghanistan, or we're burning the homeless alive here. I don't know. There's no overlap anymore. There's no like reading the news and you go, well, I can split the difference. You can't split the difference. You have to go very deep into and research, get microfiche. You have to go look at the Library of Congress. And how long is that going to be a thing anymore? They're going to cut that. And you go, if only we got Kamala. What do you think? They love this shit. They all want this shit. You think Kamala lived where I live? Kamala lived in a palatial estate in sunny California. You think she's one of me? I didn't go to the Bilderberg group. Is she? Who knows? Is that even a thing anymore? I'm not a vampire. I'm not allowed at these parties. So these ideas of these Democrats, they're all fighting each other in public, but they all really do want, because they're afraid, because they got something. They got something going on. Whether it's a little bit of money, Bernie's like a big playboy. Bernie Sanders, he's he's a playboy. He works his way all. You don't think that guy can pump? That guy can pull and pump. Bernie Sanders can pull and pump.
I think Bernie can pump from the bottom.
I don't mean. Well, you say Bernie's the bottom?
I don't know if he can pump from the top anymore.
I meant like proverbially. I don't mean like I don't know if his dick works. I'm saying that the guy is first of all, he has multiple houses. They're not it's not Bill Gates' house, but he's got money. Why do they all have money? They're all insider trading. You know this. They're all just they're all buying these companies called Zlamista and Florasta. And what does that do? It's an AI oriented networking payroll app. It's all just this is how it's a mercenary group running Congress, just getting they need to protect themselves. Is my point. They're not AOC's from the Bronx. I don't care if she's from Thailand. It doesn't matter where you're from. You're in or you're out. And we're out. Me and you, Lucie. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to get in. And if we get in, we'll let one lucky listener come with us, perhaps. That's it. You have to always keep a little thing. It's like when they give away PS5s. You always got to keep a dangle with everyone's trying to get into the gated city before Mad Max happens. Because what goes unsaid in Mad Max is I don't want to say it, it'll hurt the algorithm. But it's brutal. Mad Max leaves that out. That part.
You got to trade something.
Well, or you can have it traded to you. If you know what I mean. I don't. Again, I'm sorry, YouTube won't let me say it out loud. But you can put the pieces together. You're not dumb. You know what's coming. So I'm just saying, it's a really nice app. I haven't been able to use it yet. Here's the problem, Sam Altman. If you don't like this line of dialogue, then give me one of those codes so I can make cool videos of myself, hang gliding. Oh, I don't mean that. I just remember the famous hang gliding event. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do. I wasn't trying to allude to an attack with hang glide. That's sad. I'm sorry.
What are you afraid of them making you do most?
No, I'll be dead. They'll alive me.
Yeah, but what are you afraid of happening in your like kind of forever, in your AI prison forever?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of that. It's interesting. It's interesting that you think that I care more about my digital presence and what they're having me do
than your literal physical,
than my literal life. I want to live. I don't want to die, Lucy. No, I guess, look, I don't want to be used to promote wars, to sell books. I'm not sure what book I could sell.
That's a wide spread of things you don't want your.
Well, imagine if they turned me into. Well, that's kind of what Charlie Rose was. Charlie Rose was a guy who sold wars and books, and we almost met him at Maria, one of those restaurants near Central Park, where they wouldn't let us in. But, we happened to see, he was disgraced already, but I still like him. I still like his work, excuse me, Charlie Rose. But people would go on there and they would either promote the Iraq War. You'd have like, maybe a Rumsfeld, maybe someone, Joan Didion. She was big on that, right? Maybe not. I forget what she was about. She's like a famous author, but I guess she was more about like literature.
Yeah.
Magical thinking, magical realism. Well, whatever. The point is, most of these people were military people. They were like people from the CFR, or they were guys. Yeah, they were literati. You'd have Malcolm Gladwell talking about his 10,000 hours, and that could be me. And I could be sitting there while some guy writes some book about how. I mean, what kind of books get made nowadays? They all seem kind of like weird. Like, what are some of the more recent famous books?
More recently,
like the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I mean, they'll have that guy on talking. What is that book about? It's just about being like a bad parent. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. Just don't feed your kids. Your kids will probably figure it out, or they'll die. Is that how that book goes? I didn't read it. When you call your book "The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck," I assume there's something like that in there. Maybe. I'm sick and tired. I've spent a lot of time. I'm sorry, am I going on a rant here?
Go off.
I'm sorry, but it's just that I spent a lot of years not like trying to be a coward, but like trying to be responsible and like hedge my words a little bit because you don't. But what society rewards is you call it that. You call it the subtle art of not giving a fuck. What if people get the wrong idea? Doesn't matter. Clicks is all that matters. All that matters is clicks. Okay, well, I'll just assume that your book is about not feeding your kids. It cuts both ways. All right? We're living in the future. It's like, don't worry about the downside. Well, I can be a big downside, can't I? All right. Maybe I should. Problem. Maybe I should position myself as as some kind of weird gatekeeper of the what's left of the literati. The intelligentsia. I haven't really cultivated the intelligentsia in my life, but I could make up for lost time. I would love to be a disruptive element in that world. Who would have to become friends with someone to do that? You know more about that than me, it seems like.
The literati?
Well, you're like an English major, right? Okay. I feel like you read more books. You know more. You read more of those type of books.
I've read a fair amount of books, but
those type of books, literature.
But a lot of the time, like those books that you're talking about, that are on the front shelf in the bookstore. This is like the most recent thing.
Yeah.
Like that stuff sometimes passes me by, but like what are some of the you have a lot of racial stuff.
Yeah, how the white man burned America.
The new Jim Crow comes to mind.
Right. Like, why are you giving people ideas? You know, these people, new Jim Crow. Don't stop. They want that. Some of these people. You ever been on Twitter or X? Some people are like, are we doing that now? Just saying. But yeah, I mean, the last book, it's been a while. But I feel like the last, like, contemporary book that I, like, as far as, like, a new book that I read was, like, Team of Rivals. That stupid book about, like, how Lincoln got his enemies to, like, work in the cabinet with them. But then he got assassinated.
Doris Kearns Goodwin.
Oh, she's the author?
Yeah.
Probably. Did you read that book?
Yeah, I think I did a while back.
Okay. Well, it wasn't a bad book, but I mean, I feel like it definitely underplays how the irony, I hired all my enemies and somehow I got killed. How did they know where I'd be? Maybe my enemies who I worked next to every day told them.
I mean, that's quite a spicy theory right there.
I mean, it just came off the top of my head, yeah. But I read the book years ago. I feel like I'm smarter now than I used to be.
You think Lincoln's cabinet?
It's just, look, when all you do is brag about how you're like the bottom bitch of diverse ideas, right? When you're like, I did something that no one ever thought of. I surrounded myself with my enemies, keep your enemies close. And it's like, well, sometimes when you keep your enemies close, they stabby, stabby, stabby. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes they get theirs. It's like, here's the thing. In prison, the knives aren't as good. They call them shanks, not just because it's cool, but like, it's not really a knife a lot of the time. It's like a sharpened handle of a toothbrush. And that's why if you ever watch one of these stabbings, these shankings, it's a lot of, 100 times or whatever, or 50 times, because it's like, you need to repeat it over and over, is my point. I'm just saying. And so if you have like, body armor made out of like old phone books, right? Or an atlas, that could work. So it could still maybe do something against a real knife, but definitely against a toothbrush handle. And you get my drift? I don't think you do. But
you're saying Lincoln was kind of a tease with this stuff.
What I'm saying is like, keep them close, but not that close. Right. Not close enough to kill you with a toothbrush.
I wonder if he ever came into a cabinet meeting and just had like knives placed all around the table. Right. And he's like, I'm just going to turn my back for a second. Hope nobody stabs me at it.
That's a great point. Lucy just made an amazing point, and I don't want to slander Lincoln. Yeah. I think people Lincoln gets a bad rap sometimes. People go, he didn't really care. Like he would have like, he didn't care about freeing the slaves. And like, I'm not saying like there's no truth to that quote, but I think he didn't like slavery. And when he said he would have kept it to keep this nation, all right, that's like, I'm not saying his biggest priority was that. So I'm not one of these Lincoln that like people go, Lincoln, they want to trash him. I like him overall, but I do think he might have had a predilection. He got off on being this kind of great guy. I'm the guy. I'll just put this gun here. Hope you don't shoot me. Mm-hmm. And somehow that helped him, get climax. We just talk about I think he liked to again. It's not for me to say how a man does bed sex stuff in bed, or what should go through his mind. But I think, do I think Lincoln kind of at the moment of climax just thought about how great of a man he was or seemed to be, and then he just got to be blasted so hard.
It kind of tracks with his life too.
Yeah,
because he was also kind of married. Wasn't Mary Todd Lincoln kind of a basket case?
Well, I mean, her kids all died.
Oh, yeah. Well, look,
crazy.
Okay. I didn't say there weren't legitimate reasons for it.
Yeah, but she was kind of nuts though. I think.
But, yeah. I wonder if Lincoln ever just lied in bed with her while she was like having a fit. I'm just such a great guy.
He would spoon her, and he would say, "You're too crazy. You've become too crazy to have any concept of how great of a man I am." Oh, Mary Todd. Mary Todd.
Just makes me greater.
If only your feeble brain could have handled the pressure of our sons all dying, you could have witnessed the grace of your own husband's exaltation. Oh, I'm sitting as right hand of God, Mary Todd. No, take my pants off. Now,
I'm the Christ child.
Right, yeah, stuff like that. And this is like, does it sound severe? I don't know. It's old. It's 200 years ago. Whatever. It all flies. This is what we should, maybe if Sam Altman gives me the codes for this Sora app, maybe we can make this show, sex Lincoln, right? I mean, you can make a movie about him hunting vampires. Why not a movie about him getting off to himself? Oh, because he got his head blown off? I'm sorry. I didn't do it. And none of my family members did. But, yeah. Welcome to Kump. Welcome to the show. It's a crazy... The government is shut down, and we're pumping. Our blood is pumping thick. And apparently we are in a non-international war of attrition. Is that what we call it now? Let's put on this up a second. This is a strange development. Lawmakers from both sides press the Pentagon on a legal basis for the cartel boat strike. So we discussed this a few weeks ago, I guess, or a month. It's been a while, this cartel boat. Yeah. Right? They bombed a cartel boat. Well, they bombed a boat. People claim it's not. I mean, I think most people agree, right? They found a bunch of drugs. Right. So there's people out there who want to just question everything. And that's fine, but pick your bat. You gotta focus. You can't just go this show about Lincoln is sacrilegious and it's racist and it's and it's just bad for the speaking ill of the dead, and it's also not sexy enough. Pick one critique is my point. Mm-hmm. And so I choose to accept that these are probably cartel boats, but maybe are we allowed to blow them up? I don't know. But apparently these lawmakers from the Pentagon cornered. I'll read something. Scroll down. Let's see what has happened here. Senators on both sides of the aisle pressed the Pentagon's top lawyer in the closed door meeting. The Pentagon's top lawyer. Now, is that like some guy who they got a 7-Eleven? They don't get the best in the brain. Now, I mean, some of these guys are good. I don't know. I'm just checking. Is he a JAG maybe? Whatever. They cornered this guy. They want an explanation. This is a bipartisan thing apparently. They cornered this guy like a Ronald McDonald in an alley. Yeah, because I think they realize, senators must realize that, hey, we don't like each other, but the more you kind of do things on your own, the less this whole thing we're doing over here matters. The more the executives just we got this. No, the Democrats and the Republicans are both but we'd like to have some input here, right? Mm-hmm. There's some whatever. Read some of this, please. God, honestly, I already kind of wish that these articles were just Sora videos. Yeah, no, this is just give it to me in 3 seconds. What happened physically? Look, we'll just cut because the whole point. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about what who cornered who pulled whose pants down in the Pentagon bathroom and started sucking and going, hey, let me suck. Doesn't matter. Who cares how they got this guy to comply? How they got Pete Hegseth just had that meeting with the generals where they called them all fatties. Was one of those guys involved? One of those fat generals sucking off some other guy? I don't know. I'm just saying. The point of me bringing this up is cut to what they said today. Just a day after the closed-door briefing, Trump declared in a confidential notice to Congress that the U.S. is in a non-international armed conflict with the cartels. This is so interesting. But why non-international? That's why. Are there cartels here? That's what I'm confused about. It is very confusing because do they maybe mean that we're not at war with Venezuela? We're just at war with these cartels. But they're not here. They're in Venezuela. I guess there's probably some implication there. There's probably some Poindexter lawyer got involved and said you can't declare war. Casus bellicose or whatever that term is, a Latin term, right? I don't think that's it. Something like that. Because of war, right? You need to have I mean, I don't really feel like the Geneva Conventions seem to apply anymore just because we just don't seem to care. Now, is there implications to that? I don't know. I guess. Do something. America just change its model to do something. That's where we're going to go with this. And you go, you're saying Trump. This is how we've been operating for years. I mean, did Obama ask permission to bomb drone strike 1,000 weddings? Mm. He hated weddings. That guy, I've never seen a man. I know men don't love weddings. They don't watch Say Yes to the Dress, But I mean, what's the other one? My best friend's Runaway Bride, right? Whatever it is, Julia Roberts. I'm not expecting him to watch, but that guy just fucking just hellfire missiles raining down on cocktail hours left and right. You know, they're playing the montage at dinner. They're doing the toasts, and he's like, "Die, motherfucker!" You know, he don't give a shit. And so you know, it's not new, but yeah, but I feel like it is crystallizing now. Was my point.
It's true. I mean, you know, when he hit the first boat,
yeah,
I was kind of like, you know, there's only so much I'm gonna care
right
about these about the people who died in particular,
right? Even if they're innocent. I mean, what do you want me to do? There's only so much we can complain about.
If they were innocent, I think I'd care more. But
yeah, like, a little more. a little bit.
Theoretically more.
Yeah.
But this does seem like a strange kind of escalation.
Well,
right?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, look, what I like about this though is that because we're in a non-international war, I feel like it opens up new fronts in the idea of war. And what is war? Is war? I mean, some people are saying that World War III is an information war. So can you and I be soldiers in an information war? And then therefore, like, can we get some of this cash, right? And you go, oh, it's selling out. Is it selling out to serve your country? Like, what do you care? Everyone, you get mad if we join the fight against the cartel? I mean, really? I mean, people getting a lot of shit over the Saudi Arabia thing. And I posted on Twitter, or X, whatever. I don't have a problem with people taking issue with the kingdom of Saud, the House of Saud, right? In theory. It's like, oh, it's a brutal regime.
They've done some nasty things.
They've done some very nasty things. A lot of them for us is what I'm confused about. I mean, I just spent a lot of time, even before 9/11, it's just like, this has been going on since like the 50s, the 40s. We have like this exclusive oil for protection racket going with them. They basically they hold up the petrodollar. If you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you have to use the US dollar. So you have to actually convert your currency. You can't buy it in yuan, right? Or rubles. You have to convert. They did that after Nixon closed the gold window at the end of the Bretton Woods thing, when that scam, that post-war scam dried up. And everyone, because that used to be, here's how it worked. After World War II, people talk about Nixon like ended the gold standard. He did really no such thing. There really wasn't a gold standard. What there was a U.S. dollar system called the Bretton Woods system. It was put together at the Bretton Woods conference. I think World War II was still going on at the time. I forget, but basically at the tail end of it. And what they landed on was this system where basically gold was pegged at $35 a troy ounce, and then the U.S. dollar. So the U.S. held gold technically in reserve at that peg. But then the rest of the world held U.S. dollars as their reserve currency. So we held all their gold, effectively. They held dollars as their reserve. So not everyone knows about, and I'm not an expert either, but not everyone understands economics and currency. But just imagine, to the extent that you understand that there's a gold standard and that gold backs the money, right? In that kind of case, U.S. dollars back the money for them. They just have a warehouse full of dollars. Okay, and theoretical. You have to use abstraction in your brain a little bit,
right?
You get it.
So legally,
yeah.
If you wanted to get pegged, you had to do it with gold.
Yes, if you wanted to get pegged, you had to use the gold. Are we allowed to say that? The object? You know what we mean.
We know. You know what you mean.
You gotta use some bullion. Get some bullion on that booty. Booty. Ah. I don't know.
I can see how diverting from that would crash our economy. It would compromise our economy. You know.
Well, hold on. We're skipping ahead. Right. Here's what happened. Here's why it's a scam. Mm-hmm. So you had this system, and they're like, oh, it's all fucking great, and the U.S. yay post-war, and we're also just shoving Marshall Plan money down their friggin' mouths. And we got the whole like communist thing. Basically, like, if you guys go communist, we're gonna we're gonna invade you. So it's like a lot of tug and jerk, a lot of carrot and stick going on. But basically, over the next 20, 30 years, whatever it is, what do we do? I'll tell you what we did. We inflated our currency like madmen. We spent money like crazy because it didn't matter because like it was all spread throughout the world. There was no like usually if you inflate your currency like we saw with to the extent that it happened with with the COVID with Biden and Trump and then Biden. Those people blame the checks. There's also other things involved, but whatever. Let's just say it was a check. So you get it. Like you spend all this money and then it lowers your value of your currency and then you get inflation, right?
Right.
But what if the whole world's using your dollars and circulating in some kind of abstract debt? So you really don't feel the effects of it. And that's why you had that post-war boom that we had, a lot of it at least, right? Mm-hmm. And then by the 60s, when everyone kind of rebuilt their countries finally, after that war, people, they need to build McDonald's in Europe and stuff, and Euro Disney before they can kind of like go, well, hell on, what you guys been doing over there with that money? Mm-hmm. They got wise. And they said, let's look into this. I go, and there was always this thing. You could just convert your gold, dollars back to gold in theory. And they started doing that. And then very quickly, you're like, well, fuck this. We don't actually have any gold. We spent that shit like decades ago. So we're going to close the gold window. And then we converted to a peg, an unofficial peg, sort of a petrodollar system, right? Where basically the Saudi Arabia did us a little solid. And they started, pricing their oil exclusively in the U.S. dollar. And that petrodollar basically kind of keeps the demand for it's not the only thing, don't get me wrong, but it's a very strong, very important thing. And people are very wary of if that changes over time, not just Saudi Arabia, but a lot of, the other OPEC nations, whatever, what that does for our economy, which is quite leveraged. We have quite the leveraged economy. What do we owe, like $50 trillion? Or is that just what we spent this week? It's a lot. So, that was my point. So there's that. And also they did the whole Mujahideen thing. They went dollar for dollar with us against, with the Afghan thing against the Soviet. I'm saying we are intrinsically tied to these people. And like, we haven't wavered. And then people start blaming them for 9/11 like 20 years later, even though when it first happened, we're like, a lot of these guys are Saudi, and you guys had everyone was grounded, but you let this one plane with the Saudi guys leave. What's this about? And they were like, shut up. But then 5 years ago or something, people started going, the Saudis did it. Where have you been? And also I mean, to be fair, we did it. That's what we kind of most of us. I mean, I didn't do it right away. I think a lot of us realized we didn't. So this idea that Pete Davidson's like, oh, why is he performing for the people who killed his dad? I don't know. Did you go to Dick Cheney's house? What's wrong with you people? Again, it's not, that makes it okay because the government doesn't. No, it doesn't. It means that you were married. I've never heard, look, Israel and Palestine, I hear about it all the time. If someone said something about a comedy festival in either Gaza or Israel, well, I wouldn't have this complaint of what are you talking? Because people are, people are always, I don't hear many people ever talking about Saudi. Yeah, it comes up with Khashoggi. All right, this idea of Khashoggi is this linchpin of the entirety of post-war global hegemony is somehow decided by Khashoggi, who was also really pretty well tied to Saudi intelligence before MBS took over. Doesn't mean anything. Nothing means anything, right? Just saying, the blood on our hands. We barely have hands anymore. So I don't care that I'm not saying give a pass. I don't care. There's no pass. I don't know the idea you could give a pass to Louis C.K. for going to Saudi Arabia or Bill Burr. It just seems insane to me. I know I have a different a more consistent moral compass, or maybe I'm a lunatic. It just seems really weird to get the high and mighty when it's not just something that we oppose. It's our whole country. It's like being mad at your spleen. That's a bad example because I'm not sure what the spleen does. But you get my point. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and why did I bring that up? It was related to something else. Do you remember?
I'm not sure, but you're right. I mean, these are people, the people who are speaking out against this now,
right? Against
the festival.
Yeah,
they're people who they're a lot of the time, strangely, not even the most politically vocal people. So it's not like they've been talking about the atrocities of Saudi Arabia this entire time.
They seem very let down.
It's just it's like getting mad that we're not kind of just lying about our level of entanglement with them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's kind of
that we're not still kind of like trying to play tough with them.
Right.
Which is actually like kind of the strategy that's gotten us in trouble so many times over the years. Like, you know, it's like a little bit of subtle like cultural immersion.
Sure.
Might not actually be the worst thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of times the case. I feel like you know, I mentioned also, I think I forgot to mention, they're the number one recipient of a client of U.S. arms.
Right.
Besides us, I guess. Bigger than Israel. I mean, Israel does get them comped a lot more. Like Israel, you know, Saudi Arabia pays cash. That's what, you know, but don't get, you know, but they get them all. I mean, technically, Israel has to get some clause where you have to be like, they get like, you know, the top tier. Mm-hmm. So like, no matter what, if this missile can kill 1,000 people, then theirs can kill 1,001. They have some clause that says that. I'm not sure how they work it out. It's physics probably. I'm not a physicist. But the point is, you know, but they get plenty of guns, plenty of fighter planes, plenty of crazy, all sorts of crazy shit. You know. I mean, I just don't like the weird outrage about, you know, about Bill Burr and who else went?
Louis C.K.
Yeah. Was whatever.
Who else? Lots of people.
Dave Chappelle. Get mad at them. It's like all right. Like that seems.
I guess the idea is that like they're not going to be exposed to like you know. Whatever liberal ideas, even that much, because is the idea that the material will be censored.
Look, there's some of that, sure. Right. I mean, look, if it lets you down, I do think like there's too much. I don't know what comedians ever did for you. Mm-hmm. Podcasters, anything, news, Rush Limbaugh. I don't know what anything's ever done. Like all our country has done has gotten like materially not great. It hasn't done better over this time of much more. Like people liked Edward R. Murrow, but they weren't like in love with Edward R. I was like, oh, he's a good guy. He's on top of the building. One of the bombs are falling. Probably not true. I mean, I don't want to disgrace the guy, but is Edward R. Murrow really? I mean, I'm sure he was far away from the bombs. Maybe not. Maybe I'm the biggest scumbag in the world. That's totally true. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Lucy knows when to not comment. When I'm like, we're going to get canceled over disgracing Edward R. Murrow. Whatever. He's dead. But, you know, the point is, you know, but yeah, so like, is it, I don't know if it's, I mean, I guess.
This is literally best case scenario.
Right.
I think this is how, like, liberal ideals spread. You get people addicted to entertainment.
Sure, that could be true.
You know, you get them addicted to it, and then you start, you know, shaming them through it.
Right.
Be nicer to gay people. Be nicer to women. Get subtly worked in there.
I mean, they're afraid. The counterpoints, they're afraid, I guess, that this is whitewashing Khashoggi or whatever. Mm-hmm. Which I just don't know. Like, what I'm trying to convey here is I don't know that like our sins are so great that I'm not sure that anything could whitewash them, let alone a comedy festival.
Right.
That like Saudi, like, it's not that Saudi Arabia that we look the other way. We are the other way. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like it's like we're in this. And also, we're dirty too. This whole argument is separate from the idea that, like, are we any better? Mm-hmm. Well, we don't technically stone people and throw them off. Yeah, okay. Do we have them do it? Sure. You know, what do you think black sites are about? CIA black sites. Hey, we don't do torture. I mean, we did do torture, but we don't do that level of torture. Whatever, you know, we'll waterboard you, but we won't shove a battery up your ass. We got friends who will. You know, that you don't think that was going? We know that was going on. I'm just saying.
It would be funny if after all this back and forth, the entire. And look, I don't wish any ill on them, of course, at all. The people performing in this festival. It's kind of funny if they all just got disappeared.
Yeah, I guess. Sad for their families, but yeah.
They watch 5 minutes of the first act. Right. And it's just like, shut it down.
I thought it'd be like Carlin. I thought it'd be like Carlin. It's not like Carlin. It's not as good, is it? But, you know, no, sure. You know, to be fair, Bill Burr did come out and like make some crazy statement. Like, it was great. I thought they'd have machetes, but there was like Applebee's. It's like, what? Like, it's like a McDonald's and a Starbucks and they have Chili's. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, machetes? It's not South America. What are you talking about?
Right.
So I don't know. I made this statement on X a few days ago. That comes out like, well, you're not making me help my case here, Bill. But whatever. It doesn't mean that's blood money per se, or any more than every other piece of money in the world.
Right.
Every other U.S. dollar. Whatever. I'm just saying. If you want to have a reckoning with the United States Empire, I've always been down for it. No one's ever wanted to talk to me about it. Everyone says shut up and joke about eating Oreos or, be the new John Candy. And I don't know how. Anyway, moving on. So we wish them the best. We hope they all get home safe. Get our boys home safe. Well, let's go. The Pope's calling us evil.
The Pope is Let's play with some of what the Pope said.
There's another guy screwing me over. I feel like we went to bat for the Pope, and he's making us look bad.
This is what he had to say. Pope Leo.
Who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So they're very complex issues.
It's, look, there's a I've seen people on Twitter reacting to this and very kind of confrontational ways and very surprising. I have a very kind of a cheat code almost. Mm-hmm. If the Pope says something you don't like that you feel like look, we all wish we could. The Pope. What's the Pope going to say about me, for instance, Lucy?
Let's say the Pope said about you. Yeah. Ray Kump doesn't do enough charity work. And
also, he steals from the poor. Actually, he should stop stealing from the poor. Actually steals charity. He's known to be a charity thief. Mm-hmm. And that came about, and the Pope called me out. You know what I would say? We'd all love to be as pious as the Pope, to be as pure as the Pope. He's the Pope. I mean, he's God's guy. He's God's little creature. He's his right-hand man on earth, right?
You're God's little creature, Leo.
You, Leo. You know how pious you are, how free of sin you can be. You tend to be very holy. And we all wish we could be as holy as you, Leo. But last time I'm a mortal man. Mm-hmm. So let's move on. And that's how you deal with it. You don't have to go, what do you mean? So you say that a guy who murders 6 children but then a child's innocent and abortion and all this back and forth. You don't have to argue with the Pope. That's the whole gimmick. I don't understand people. We built society this way for a reason. You have religion, it's compartmentalized. That's what makes the West so great, is that you can have religion and you can be like, it doesn't make you a hypocrite, but we're built with sin. I'm not the guy who built sin and forgiveness into the whole gimmick, right? And having a Pope over there in a different country. And a lot of people in America aren't even, part of it. So the Pope can't even complain, but the ones who do, it's like, wow, like we're all broken. We're all broken creatures, aren't we? We're all just baboons and pigs, lying in their own shit next to the Pope. So one day we can all get to be heaven on earth. Not yet.
People are acting like this is some big break, but hasn't the Catholic Church always been pretty anti-death penalty? I'm
pretty certain it's been a hard rule. Like, we don't like this, and you know what governors do? They go, well, I'll listen to you, and sometimes they go, all right, we'll give you this one. Right. Like, well, this guy, because this guy was 6 cops admitted to framing the guy. Mm-hmm. So they feel like, well, maybe we won't kill him. We'll still keep him in prison forever. But we won't kill him because these cops, at least half the cops said they framed him. But usually, I think they just ignore the Pope.
Right, you don't have to.
Or the cardinal, or whatever. Yeah.
It's not like the Pope is always swinging by on the day you're about to execute somebody.
People online seem very excited for a crusade. Mm. I'm like, it's like, I get it. It does seem fun. Stomping around Europe.
And all that iron.
All that iron and steel and people, dying of the plague, maybe. That came later, right? It overlapped a little bit. But, he's like, you watch that movie, Kingdom. I mean, people are posting pictures of that Ridley Scott movie, Kingdom of Heaven. It's like the guy they're showing had a leprosy. Like, you want to be a leper? I don't even want to get... My point is, I think people get a little fantastical. The Pope's got no jurisdiction. Can't do shit. The Pope has no influence in America. People will vote. The people do not vote according to the Pope. I guarantee it. It's not really even a Catholic nation. I mean, there's a lot of Catholics here, but I'm saying it's not like the Pope does not like dictate politics.
Right.
Just like stop trying to like make it more extreme. He's just there to be like, oh, hello, Pope. You know, everyone likes the Pope.
It's supposed to be a nice place that you go to. You wash yourself clean of all of your extremism.
Oh,
all
I was
those
blessed by
things.
I was blessed by the Pope in Rome. Oh, were you? So you stopped doing that stuff on the island? No. I'm still a mortal man. You know? It is what it is.
All those nasty things you said to that migrant child online.
Yeah.
They're washed away.
Yeah. He said, like,
with holy water.
Right. He says something about migrants too. So maybe not here, but he also said like, and the way you treat migrants, like, and people get mad. Like, stop. It doesn't look good when you're arguing with the Pope. All right. It actually makes you, like, I'm not for unlimited immigration. I want ICE to be able to do their job. You know, like, just stop arguing with the fucking Pope. It looks bad. It makes you look like you're evil. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're a Catholic. The Pope is seen as a kind of holy guy.
Right.
When you're against him, it makes your whole thing look bad.
There's also like mad Catholics in South America.
Sure. I'm just saying.
Just be like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Right. He knows who his audience is too. What do you think he's doing? He's like, I'd love to I'd love to shit on him with you, but it's my bread and butter. These people are just cooked. We used to have a society that functioned. This is what happens when you can't have a house. When they take away the ability to have a house, to have a future, have a family, which they robbed you of, right? Mm-hmm. They tell you you're nothing. And you'll live in the digital world, in the metaverse, right?
Yeah. And
you'll have Sora. You're
only fit to be farmed.
You're only fit to be farmed, and if you don't behave, we'll replace you with the Sora app. That's what this is. That's all you get. I don't even know what we're good for anymore. I mean, I'm afraid. Like, why are they even keeping us around? They're gonna replace us, like, because also they're gonna replace us with like AI kiosks. iPads are gonna do our jobs for us now. Mm-hmm. I mean, so what is the point of us? Are we just gonna be, a series of holes? I'm afraid. I don't want that. I don't want that for myself or my family. I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong with everything in my life. Nothing I envision is going. I mean, Nostradamus. If you watch Nostradamus, that doc from the 80s, maybe on the Patreon we'll watch some of that. This Orson Welles did a whole he was the narrator, the host of his Nostradamus, and I used to think he was full of shit because it ends kind of weird. But I was watching it the other day on YouTube, and it's all happening now. I thought, well, this idiot, like, it's all hindsight. You made this documentary, everything before 1985 when you made it, yeah, sure. But everything, all the future stuff is bullshit. They're just off by a few years. 9/11's in there. This is like when I was a kid watching it. Now I look back, 9/11, there's Trump, there's Bin Laden, there's I think Sarkozy, the French guy. No, I have no idea who that guy is. The Pope, whatever. The point is, it is the end of summer. Summer's over, now it's fall. So I'm trying to pivot to a nicer something.
A seasonal theme.
A seasonal theme. And you were talking about we didn't grow our herb garden. I did buy a basil plant. That
was the plan. We were gonna do an herb garden on the balcony.
Right.
But we didn't get around to it.
We did not get around. I got indoor growing lights that are probably made for, weed, but I used them to grow basil in my kitchen. And then we just kind of forgot to water it at one point for a week, and whatever. But it got us talking because we had these like loftier plans. How you kind of introduced this because this was your like fantasy.
Well, it's like I've been watching a lot of these homesteader videos.
Right.
These are people that they make everything from scratch. They grow their own food.
Make their own butter. Make their own meat. Right. Like they have the cows. They have the corn. They grow it all.
They thrive in the wilderness.
In the
They build their own stuff.
Well, the prairie, right? Not in the woods, right?
Well, yeah, I guess they're more like...
They're not a tree house, are they?
They thrive in a rural area.
Sure. I'm sorry, I mean to nitpick.
But I think that we should try to be homesteaders.
You would like you bring this up a lot. You'd love to homestead with me. You'd love to, and I say to you, we don't have much space. We live in an apartment in a city that's more and more being built as a shadow city for billionaires who don't live here.
Right. But in some ways that might be perfect.
Right. Well, it dawned on us recently that
I mean, we're supposed to be stewards of the earth.
Sure.
We're stewards of the animals.
Did the Pope tell us that?
Yeah. The Pope tells us that.
Right.
And there are animals here. Like it's like the rural lands aren't the only places where there are animals.
Oh, okay, sure. So we have a lot of cats.
There are pigeons.
Pigeons.
There's squirrels. We have a cat.
We have a cat. I don't want to eat our cat.
I don't want to eat our cat either.
Right.
But we could maybe milk a pigeon.
Milk a pigeon. Yeah, I have no problem with that. So, all right. So here's the thing. It is now October 2nd. Winter hasn't set in just yet. The birds haven't flown south. This is a good idea, and maybe we'll keep up with this going forward. Our first step, I think, is what you're saying, is that we should start building some kind of big net on our balcony that can catch pigeons. Maybe like like industrial glue of some sort. The kind of glue they put on rat traps. So we're not going to just, we'll let them go afterwards. I mean, can you free up? We'll figure it out later if we can free him from this. Either way, we'll glue him to the wall. This thing. We'll get like some plywood or something. Right. We'll frame it up for all of our handyman listeners, people who know how to build houses and stuff. Relax. Don't tell me how I'm wrong. I'll figure it out with plywood, and I'll just kind of screw it into the railing. Right. It'll be ugly, but it'll work. And I'll cover it with this glue and bird seed, and we'll catch a bunch of pigeons, and then we can get the milk out of them.
Exactly.
Now, how do we get the milk out? Do we have to like get little tweezers and tweak them?
We might have to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's on if their nipples are on their back.
Do they have? I mean, I don't want to do a meet the parents joke, but do they have nipples? Birds? I mean, there's maybe. Are birds even mammals?
How do they feed their?
I don't think they're mammals, Lucy.
Wait, no. They regurgitate into their children's
birds
mouths.
don't have milk. I'm pretty certain about it. Actually, they're not warm-blooded creatures,
right.
Or are they? Wait, hold on. Well, they lay eggs. They can't be, right?
Yeah.
Or is that not exclusively the distinction?
Can you eat pigeon eggs?
Sure. I mean, there's a place we talk about. There's a place near us by the guitar shop where you can buy live animals. A bunch of them. I think they have pigeon.
Right.
So that's definitely possible. I mean, the eggs, I'm not sure. I'm not, but what is I don't care about that. See if are pigeons mammals? I feel like they are, right? No,
they're birds.
I was right the whole time. I should never have doubted myself. They're birds. So that means I don't think they have milk either.
Right.
All right. So we've do we go squirrel? I mean, there are squirrels sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe we get squirrels.
Yeah.
Can you milk a squirrel? Look that up. Well, it's possible to extract milk from a lactating squirrel.
It's not a practical or ethical endeavor.
Why is it not ethical? I can drink cow milk all day, but the moment I put my lips to a squirrel's nipple, I'm the king of evil. I'm Satan's friend. What is this? Why is it not ethical? It's expand. Watch this. Expand this.
Negligible yield.
All right. So wait, it's unethical if the squeeze ain't worth the juice. I feel like that's not really ethics anymore. That's just practicality. I feel like you look at these AI overviews now, and I feel like they don't understand Western philosophy. To the point where they should at least. I mean, am I wrong here? I feel like Aristotle or Plato or who's the other guy? Yeah, Plato. I feel like he would tell you, it's either right or wrong. It doesn't matter if it's not efficiency is for totalitarian states and communism. God-fearing men, we do what's right and we do what's wrong. Well, no, we should do what's right. And we punish what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I feel like look, it's evil because it's just not. It's stringy. The meat's stringy, so it's evil. You know what I mean? It's like oh, you really want to eat pheasant? You only get a few bites, so it's it's wrong. It's kind of a different thing. Am I correct? Look, honestly, answer me right now, please.
Yes.
I know I go off on these tangents. I'm not blaming you. But are you reticent to respond because you're not sure what I'm talking about, or you think I'm crazy to be making these points? I feel like these points are valid and they're actually prescient.
I think they're valid too.
Okay.
I think that the most important part of this lifestyle,
right, the homesteading,
is making little trinkets.
Okay.
Little homestead. Like, you would only get this from a place where, you would only get this from a field where we're tilling the earth and stewarding animals. So it's like if you maybe sold like nice like pigeon feather wreaths.
Okay.
Or something.
Sure. Pigeon feather wreaths. That's interesting.
That could be a good scam.
I think what people like is jewelry. Mm-hmm. Women like to buy dumb jewelry wherever they go.
Right. That's made in a little workshop.
Yes.
Somewhere. Yeah.
So, but if we can somehow scam them, I mean, we could buy bullshit. But what would we be lying to them about? Like, what would we be telling them it is? Like a pigeon bone bracelet? That doesn't seem to be.
It might be a little bit dark, but a pigeon beak pendant.
A pigeon-beak pendant.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad. And I can call a man in China probably once we get this going. And here's the dimensions. I need 10,000 beaks. You know, I want to pay you $1,000 for 10,000 beaks, and we'll negotiate back. He's in Pudong province or something.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And these fools, these dumb women and their husbands. We're gonna ensnare them. Because I love nothing more than to be kind of like we're not in a post-apocalypse. We're not in the Mad Max. We're in like if you remember Mad Max 1, they weren't. That's not what it was. It wasn't the Road Warrior yet. It wasn't Fury Road. It was this weird, like just hyper aggressive. Still had cars and society. The cops are still there. You know, they were a little more militarized, perhaps slightly, but not really. You know, they were just kind of. Everything was amped up, and everything felt like meth. Which is kind of what we're entering now. And then for this phase, I'd like to spend that time, me and you, ensnaring drifters and local. That's, you know, the people who like the moneyed class, the semi-moneyed class, who likes to gallivant around the country with their money, you know, and shove it in their face that they can buy. You know, people who like to buy raw milk and fresh oysters and fucking, you know, and dandelion oil. And dandelion sun chips. A lot of dandelions. You know, all sorts of shit like that. I'd like to take them for all it's worth.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to fucking teach them a lesson from an Aesop fable. You know, don't trust the fucking pigeon bone salesman. There's nothing I'd like more than that. And that's how I'd like to leave this world, as a pigeon bone salesman who also does comedy in Saudi Arabia whenever he gets a chance, if they ever let him, if they ever give him that bag. Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you all dearly. Don't forget to subscribe. Should have said it earlier, but we didn't. C'est la vie. And patreon.com/Ray Kump if you like the show and you'd like to get a little more. It's an extra episode every week. So that's there. Have a great week.